slip. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I whipped, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I've learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shattered off past actions. I grieve, but grievance never really mattered. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, but it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
Wait, how did this thing get flipped around?
It shit tweaking.
Yeah, it tweaked something serious. Because it was working. What?
Damn, where Rob at?
My PC tweaking.
It ain't no Sage.
I can't see shit.
I don't even see Otis.
Well, we don't see Otis yet. I gotta flip it to the guest thing. Thank you for the sneak peek.
Oh, okay.
You'll see what I'm about to do. It's like a magic.
Are we live right now?
We live.
Oh, my bad. All right. What it do? Welcome back, y'all. Squad Nero back in this thing with a little bit of technical difficulties. Season 2, episode 17, a.k.a. episode 59. One more from the Big 6-0. Give it a round of applause, guys. We made it this far. We keep going crazy type thing. We're here today with you with a very special guest. We have Otis, director of content over at blurred.com. And correct me if I'm wrong at any time, but super dope guy, super dope ideas, different perspectives on a lot of things. He's gonna give us the side behind the scenes over at BlurredCon that just transpired not too long ago. We'll pick his brain in regards to that. We have Invincible as well, season finale, solo leveling, and got some other things in store for y'all. All right, so let's get this started now.
Sage, you forgot one thing though.
What happened?
Besides him being a dope individual, he always has the craziest hot takes that make you think.
No, that's why I said the different perspectives.
No, he's.
That's why I said the different perspectives.
No. He's an agent of
He
chaos.
said that's not enough.
He's an agent of chaos. I wake up. No. Because I wake up in the morning. I look at Facebook. Oh, posted something new. Oh, Jiraiya, 6 shots to the back. Oh wow. Someone has Jiraiya hate.
Yeah.
You know?
That's simple. Like, I feel like that's a little lowbrow for me, but I mean something like that.
This man said lowbrow.
Yeah.
That means he got more in the bag. He got more in the bag.
He got more in the chamber. He just be waiting for it. He just wait for it. When everything is cool, copacetic, that's when he strike and just. That's like throwing a chair in the boondocks. It's just gonna start. It's just gonna start a ruckus.
No. One post he put up like all the gens of the Pokemon, and I was like, "Yo, Gen 2, Cyndaquil, my favorite." And he's like, "But what about the slander that came with it this past year?" I'm like, "Bro, leave me alone. Let me like what I like."
I mean, just know. I mean, what Typhlosion be doing out here in these streets?
It's the simple premise.
But that's why I give him an Everstone. He's gonna stay Cyndaquil. That's the only one I really like.
I mean, but we know it's in them though. You know what I'm saying? They say priests come out at night. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell y'all, do not look up the story that they wrote on this man on Typhlosion. Do not do it. Or Vaporeon. Do not do it. So Otis, your thoughts on BlurCon? How everything went with that?
Oh, I mean, BlurCon was pretty exciting this year. I mean, this was their 7th year running. Would have been 8 if COVID, didn't COVID. But I mean, the clients progressively grown this year. They brought out I think it was about 14,000 people at the final head count. So that's the biggest year ever. They split it between 2 hotels instead of just the usual one. And they're also They brought out some big guests this year. I mean, Janelle Monáe being the head, she was dope. Announcing, her board game that she's got coming out. I mean, got to see the cast of Ianu, the upcoming series coming to Cartoon Network. That was pretty excited to see. I was really happy to get a chance to talk to the creator of that series because I mean he's a comic book creator that was able to leverage his relationships to get his comic into Dark Horse Comics, and then now it's get animated into its own series. I mean, that's kind of the dream for most of creators out there that are around comic books, and he did it, and he's not, he's under 35, so I got much respect for him doing that. Got to see some extra promo for Daredevil while we were out there. Pretty dope.
Okay.
I get to connect with a few the executives from Disney marketing team that were excited to do that. Overall, man, I mean, BlurryCon is when it comes to just overall, BlurryCon was by far my favorite. They switched now from being in the summer to being tail end of the winter, and I think that just made it a lot more tolerable because it went from being 104 degrees to being 60 degrees, so much more tolerable there. But looking forward to seeing how that con develops over time, man. Seriously, and building up towards DreamCon next.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it going going forward? It's gonna be in this around that March time, just because it worked out. Okay, I do like that.
I mean, not too much competition with other conventions that early in the year for one, and then two, I mean, being able to be around that many people and it not be like infinite temperatures outside and inside. You don't really get to do that much, less
Yes,
of
sir.
the smells that come along.
Yep.
But no, overall,
Smell like a school bus in the summer.
Man. But no, honestly, BlurryCon does somehow avoid. I mean, mostly because the people going to BlurryCon understand the assignment. But no, this year just wasn't an issue at all. Just because, I mean, if anything, chilly in spots. But I would rather be chilly with a group of 10,000 plus people than burning up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Getting a chance to party with Janelle Monáe, not something that you get to experience regularly. So that was pretty darn dope.
Yeah.
Getting to pick. Go ahead.
So my question is, with Janelle Monáe, you said she introduced a new game, but didn't she introduce like a comic or an album or something? Also?
Well, so her album was called Arcandroid, and the board game that she's making essentially is around there too. So it's a graphic novel. So it's just like a experience where you get to really live inside of her album to a degree.
Yeah, because I've seen that she gave away at least the first chapter for free to everyone that was at BlurCon. Which is really
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, everybody that made her showcase, we couldn't give it to all 10,000 people.
Oh, well.
Still, that is still super cool. So was she super nerd? Was she blurred out? Or was it just kind of this is something that was kind of newer for a newer experience to kind of spread her creativity?
She was full on blurred. I mean, if you really paid attention to any of her content, I mean, she's had an absurd amount of nerd references throughout her stuff. I mean, one of my favorite videos from her, Lipstick Lover. I mean, she comes out in a Flareon onesie into a pool with another lady. I mean,
that is right. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that was quite a stir.
Yeah, it was. So I mean, she's familiar with life. I mean, we didn't get the chance to super delve into all the aspect of nerdiness that she gets into because I mean, it's just such a limited amount of time that you have. But no, I mean, she felt right in. She felt like she was supposed to be there, and happy to embrace her.
That's dope. Super dope.
How was the accommodations in comparison to? I know I only have experience with DreamCon, but how are the accommodations in comparison to like a DreamCon?
We could accommodate in what specifically?
Accommodations in regards to just like events that they have throughout the convention center, even possibly, I don't know if you dabbled in it, but like the nightlife, even the parties,
Mm.
if there was space in there, if there was room to be able to move, anything like that. How was that in comparison
So
to DreamCon?
it's a bit different, right? So I mean, DreamCon is in a convention center.
Mhm.
BlurryCon is in. So imagine, have you ever been to like a family reunion or anything like that, like in a hotel lobby where like family just
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
the
I've
banquet
seen them.
hall
Yeah.
and all. That's what BlurryCon is. With
Okay.
A lot more
14,000
intimate.
people. Yeah, like it's much
Gotcha.
more a closer space. Um, like I mean, there are plenty of panels. They could use a little help on making sure that the panels are supported enough. I honestly think they maybe want to consider doing less panels in the future.
Hmm.
Just because I mean, if you got 12 panels going on at a time and 8 of those need assistance, you're not going to be able to give them any support at the time. At the same time, it's just not enough people there, not enough technology there to fix the problems. But I mean, like, so there's like activities wise, I mean, kind of see with that essentially, but like it's just because they're in a bigger space and they have I mean realistically to get bigger vendors. I mean
Hmm.
Nintendo sponsoring that whole game room. BlurryCon does have a nice size game room, but it's different. Like it's a bunch of retro games with some like modern games. They have like game tournaments that go on for like popular things. But that's
Hmm.
all facilitated by either volunteers or con goers themselves that partner with the con instead of like you know Nintendo is sponsoring the Smash Brothers tournament at DreamCon.
Yeah, I
Uh,
got you.
but no, but just a much more intimate feel. It's a lot more chill of a space. Like one of the major features of BlurryCon that people, I mean, we not necessarily look for, but you just kind of end up doing all the time. Is like pretty much right outside the main entrance of it. To the right, there's a bunch of chairs and like scenery that you can kind of lean up on, and that just becomes essentially a smoker's pitch from Thursday night until Sunday night when everybody leaves.
Mm.
They just roll up, play music, and you either going somebody gonna pull up and start singing anime songs, or people gonna get into hits blunts conversations about anime characters. Like
Oh,
it's
that's
usually like
dope.
it's a dope vibe, man. It's just something that just happens organically every. It's a cool space to be in. It was a little bit chillier this time, but like I mean, everybody Sherpa hoodies, and just crowded around there, got into conversations. It's just a dope spot, man. As the nightlife, so there's usually like one main part that happens Friday and Saturday. The Friday party is hosted by like free creators. The Saturday party is usually hosted by the special guests.
Hmm.
That usually goes from like 7 to like 2 a.m. basically.
Hmm.
And you can kind of just go in and out of bed. It's no extra entries for those parties, so everybody that buys a pass for the con has access to it for those days. And then I mean, outside of it, you can get into all types of activities. From
In
I
DC,
mean,
right?
yeah, you're in DC for
Oh,
one, and panels run 24 hours a day at Con. Right? So like there'll be
geez.
panels running at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Goddamn.
Mm.
Like I mean, yeah, but those panels are usually adult panels.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be a
Right.
hentai theater or Chibari workshop.
Right.
It's
Calm down, team.
it, it's like late night at BlurryCon is a different world. That's just no.
Sound
But
like we
no,
been going through the wrong shit.
Yeah.
I mean honestly, like it just depends on the vibe you're. Well, if you're trying to connect and see your favorite, YouTubers, go to DreamCon. If you're trying to vibe with other, blurs and I mean, there's of course a lot of networking you do it too. It's just a different type.
That intimacy plays a part a little bit
Yeah,
more at
yeah,
BlurCon.
absolutely.
Yeah, that and I'll be honest. I do know of other people. I've heard of other people talk about BlurCon. I haven't personally went. But that the exact same thing that you said right there. Oh, was the exact same thing that a lot of them say. So I really am starting to kind of see where it does. It's not only is it a great opportunity to kind of have that more intimate, nerdy experience with other people, but also it's a tremendous opportunity to network as well.
Absolutely. I mean, and also if you are at all remotely history buff, I mean, one of the nights after the convention, we took an Uber over to the Lincoln Memorial and just was there. Like it took us 5 minutes to get there and back from the con. Like you're just right there in the middle of so much history.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sweet.
Did you ever get a chance to go to the African American Museum?
I did not get to go. Well, no, not there. I've been there before. I want to honestly try to like incorporate some type of trip to there for a BlurryCon one of these days. I just feel like, I mean, it's there, it's free. Might as well use the resource while it's there available.
Right.
Right.
Because honestly, that's an experience in itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful knowing the future and trajectory of where blurredom and blackness, even especially when you understand the depths of our history, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a dope part. It's a dope place to have it, especially having those resources there too. It's one of those things where usually most people, when they do go to a convention of some sort, especially if it's a city that they haven't been to before, it gives them an opportunity to be able to at least see a little bit, whether it's just the downtown life or something else, but to be able to have access to things that can really educate you, especially about Black culture within an event. Surrounded by an event that is centered around an enjoyable factor or an enjoyable cultural exchange that Black people such as ourselves kind of get that opportunity to enjoy. It's like the best of both worlds situation.
Yeah, I mean, and the food situation is interesting. Like, BlurryCon always has like 20 food trucks that pull up and just stay there 24 hours a day at the con.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
So, I mean, yeah, there's always access to food there.
That's a good food.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's good. I ain't gonna.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I done had a
Still
couple
bringing
times
food
where, like,
to you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always there and accessible. I mean, again, with the panels running 24 hours, you can just, I'm gonna finish this
Pop out,
D&D
grab
panel,
it.
go get some food real quick, and then go back in for the Sailor Moon showcase. Why Sailor Moon affected Black girl nerddom.
I guess another question I do have, and you just kind of like made me think about it. The topics of the panels at DreamCon versus at BlurCon. At DreamCon, it seems as if it's just more interactive. It's more trying to kind of like spur the community, the idea of the energy of community. With BlurCon, it sounds as if it has a little bit more maybe of an educational component to it. Would you say that's accurate?
Absolutely. I'm not gonna say that DreamCon doesn't have. I think there's a bigger emphasis here at BlurCon. Mostly because I mean the clientele of people that go to BlurCon is typically a little bit older. People that have either built their platforms or have their specialties that want to share information that they think can help other blurs in the space. So I mean, you'll see programs hosted by Black professors showing the benefit of anime on the nerd community. There's so many professionals that just grew up on sci-fi and anime stuff that choose to give back in different ways that come out to BlurredCon. That's one thing I actually genuinely appreciate.
Okay, yeah, that's super interesting. I'm very like that is I do really like that part of it. It probably creates a lot of new perspective for people who haven't necessarily maybe even looked at anime and nerd culture period in a like deeper light like that. So that's really really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one of my panels Saturday night with one of my partners that runs the Diesel YouTube page was gatekeeping, and is it helpful or hurtful to the expansion of blackness and black nerd culture? And I mean, that one got pretty heavy, but I think it was a necessary conversation that kind of helped everybody there.
That's super dope.
Anybody viewing, please check that out. The pros and cons
Yeah.
of gatekeeping panel discussion at BlurCon 2025 on YouTube on Captain Diesel's Dojo.
Perfect. Yeah.
I'm a
people.
I actually had a chance to like watch the whole thing, and there was a lot of valid points in there when to gatekeep something and when not to gatekeep something.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
A lot of valid points from all the panels.
It seems with that intimate vibe, I feel like it's more so the learning experience that matters more to a lot of the goers in comparison to like a DreamCon, where you see that they have the panels. Obviously, some of them are full, some of them aren't necessarily full to capacity, but close to. But it doesn't seem like a lot of the goers are naturally either can get into their the panels that they want to get into, or even are interested in going to the panels. They're interested in having fun, experiencing a life, a world outside of the one that they're accustomed to seeing. So I find that intriguing. I find that super intriguing just to find that inspiration. Because the first time we went, I believe me and Derek talked about it, was the inspiration we felt. We never seen so many black people who identified with nerd culture such as this, so outwardly expressing it without no care, no fear. It was like outside of the world, we gotta put on not put on the mask per se, but y'all understand what I mean. When y'all working with certain individuals, y'all gotta act a certain way. I gotta do certain things in order to keep the status quo moving. But in this space, you could just be yourself, and people understand it. People resonate with it. People are able to galvanize over it and build camaraderie over it. So just seeing those differences between the DreamCon aspect to the BlurredCon aspect has me super intrigued to actually experience that next year. So,
Well, I mean, I highly recommend it. BlurredCon's always going to be a cheaper than Dream. I mean, since it's like just going to DC as opposed to going to Texas, travel's going to be a little bit easier. To, I mean, coming from Buffalo, that's a 7-hour drive versus a 40-hour drive getting out of Texas.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe for next year, like if I get enough people from Buffalo that want to go, like get like a bus and drive us down, get some content, have a good time. I think that might try to be a goal for Hayden Village.
I'm with it.
That's fly.
Yeah, that's fly. That'd be fine. All right.
It's grown though. It's like something about that though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like that.
DC is the city for it too. DC as a city is a grown ass city. I feel like I went out there. It was nothing but grown people club, nothing but grown music.
Yeah, I mean it's literally Chocolate City. Yeah, like.
All right. So tap in with BlurredCon. Oh, you have something else?
Yep. So we're gonna take this and make a move to take a look at the Iyanu official series trailer. The show will be airing April 5th on Max and Cartoon Network. So we can take a quick glimpse at that.
Right. I mean, this particular series I am really excited about. We got to watch the first 3 episodes of it down at BlurredCon, as well as interact with a lot of the voice acting cast. Like I think 2/3 of the cast came out to the screening. They're all
nice,
coming from Nigeria, Ghana, like all parts of Africa to come over to see this. So I mean, that was beautiful. Getting to see like their experience within nerddom and knowing that blurred culture just didn't happen here in America. It's like a worldwide thing. That was pretty
Dang,
dope to
that's
me.
beautiful.
You know, hearing that Royale Coupe, I'm sorry, let me not butcher his name. He grew up on, Power Rangers and Teenage Ninja Turtles too, and that kind of sparked his intrigue and wanted to make comics, and then now he's on to making his own series. I mean, if that's not relatable, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's like every nerd kind of has that moment, right? Where it's like, oh, I would love to either create my own. I mean, think about it. In video games and such, we're starting to get it now, right? Where you can like actually create characters that look like you and stuff like that. But before even, and that's like the only instance that most of us really have, where we can kind of put that full level of like creativity and imagination on display. So to be able to hear and see that his dream has been able to actually be worked out, something that we've all maybe even had a pinch of as youths ourselves, and to see that come into a full blossom is amazing, very, very amazing. We definitely need to support and peep the show. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. It's Ianu.
Yep,
Yeah, we got it
Child of
on,
Wonder. Yep.
and it airs. When is the air for everyone?
April 5th.
April 5th.
Well,
April
so
5th.
April 5th it'll be on Cartoon Network. April 6th it'll be on Max for everyone to stream.
Okay. April 5th, Cartoon Network, Max for everyone to stream. Ianu, anybody who's listening, please tap in and support. It's a very, very important and powerful moment for not only the Black community and the larger Black community, but also just for the anime community. It's a very important and pivotal moment. So we really should do everything we can to support. He got merch for it. I get some merch. It's like Black. I don't know. Like, I don't want to downplay it, so I hope this isn't a downplay. I consider this a huge compliment, but it almost gives me like Black Avatar vibes.
That's
So I'm like,
exactly
oh,
what I
okay.
got from it too. I felt the same way. And before this was a animated series, this was a graphic novel series. They just released the 4th issue at BlurredCon, and we sold it at the Blurred booth for.
Okay.
I mean,
Is that available for purchase? The graphic novel, like
Yes,
in
it
all right, so that's something else. Anybody listening out there, kind of tap in, see if you can get the graphic novel. I'm gonna try to grab a couple myself too, because I would love to be able to read it and just kind of see the art and everything from that angle as well.
It's on Amazon.
We fuck with Amazon.
Well, they started out as a bookseller, so the bookstore is different. The bookstore is different. The bookstore, the bookstore has been helping people for a long, long time, including Black creators.
Amazon?
Yes, it was. That's what Amazon originally was. It was a bookstore. It's not what it is. Like what it was. What it is. What you see it as today is not what Amazon originally was. It was just legit online Barnes and Noble.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So I mean, it's tough because that's like one of the. If you ever tried to like do something writing wise or anything like that, you would know like Amazon's program for that is a lot. It's very fluid for a lot of people to get out there and put themselves out there.
Most definitely.
But I do understand the sentiments that you have in regards to Amazon. But in this case, we're going a little hiatus to support our people.
Yeah, we got some other Jones too. Penguin Random House. Do they just get it from Amazon? Oh no, they don't. I thought I seen Barnes and Noble.
I mean,
Yeah, Barnes and Noble.
For this one, you can go to lionforgeentertainment.com and buy it from their website directly too.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
There
it is.
That's what we needed. Ain't trying. I was about to go a little crazy, but yeah, we ain't
He's like,
trying
I'm gonna have
to
to deep dive this. I gotta research for this because I can't support no Bezos.
I'm getting what did you say? Avatar with Black Panther vibes. The royalty aspect with the African culture. That's the epitome of the Black Panther franchise to me. Just to see that royalty enriched within the story. I could see that it is also enriched within this story within Ianu. Is it just like a one season type of thing, or they're waiting until the release to see if they get that season 2?
So I mean, the goal is to get a minimum of 5 seasons. I
Okay.
mean, of course, you got to see how the first one performs, but if we can, get some strong support around this one, see
Mhm.
more and more of it, create more pathways for people to get their content made like this.
I'm guessing they've been
Yeah.
doing like various test screenings like they just did at BlurredCon type of thing. And I'm
Hmm.
guessing if they get in the resounding things that they're doing, they keep dropping it. How was the room when they released that and everybody seen it?
I mean, everyone vibed with it. I mean, I think it's not fair to gauge the room there just because I mean we had the energy of having actual cast and the creators like
Okay.
there. So I
Yeah.
mean, we kind of absorbed a little bit of their passion because I mean we got to get to see their experience of like, oh, I saw this from start to finish,
Mm-hmm.
and it conveyed well with the people that were in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, overall, like the show itself, I enjoyed it. I mean, you clearly see that it's a kids show in the sense where like it's giving lessons for the next generation to follow. But
Mm-hmm.
like it's like how kids shows were back in for us, where you can see like, oh, that's an adult joke a little bit in there. I get what you're trying to do there.
I got you.
No, I think it's something for everybody. It's a positive black show that you can watch with your kids, but also find entertainment out of yourself. And I really appreciate that.
Very dope.
Yeah, that's dope.
Now I gotta add in another comparison, a little Static Shock. I feel like that was like one of the first animations that we got to see growing up, where we seen a lot of black characters within it.
Oh yeah, so I mean, and there's a ton of connection with it with Static Shock specifically because that's another Dark Horse comic,
Mhm.
and Dark Horse is the comic that picked up Ianu for them to eventually get up to being published by the animator Lion Forge Entertainment.
Look at that. Full
Oh, do you
circle.
know if Dark Horse is like is it a black public, like a publication source? I know they have a lot of black series at Dark Horse. I think I might be mistaken on that, but
No, Dark Horse, I believe, started off as an indie black created
okay,
studio. Then they got picked up by DC, and that's how Icon and Static got introduced into the bigger DC universe
got
as
you.
well.
That makes sense. Okay,
All
all right.
right. All right. So now we got some heavy shit to talk about, y'all. First of all,
Please.
I'm letting y'all know this right now. Y'all done had more than ample enough time to be able to watch this ending of Invincible. If you have not, I promise you, there will be some spoilers.
We don't care.
So please watch with your own discretion, all
We're
right?
spoiling everything.
Invincible has just ended. I want to get y'all first, real quick, y'all 1 to 10 ranking, and then we'll dive in deeper, pause, into y'all ranking from there. But quickly, just give me y'all ranking. This nigga T was ready to explode with something. Pause. Again.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wow.
Wow.
This nigga was holding back. My bad, bro.
Wow. I was.
Take a chill pill.
Yo, son.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yo.
I want to hear more on that, but
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Go. It's no pleasing this nigga.
I get
I'm
it.
pleased.
Like, I honestly, like, due to it not having that break, and the pacing was real good. I enjoyed, like, even some of the episodes that were side stories.
Nigga, I asked for a rating.
I'm getting there. But I give it about 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm at an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay.
What
How about you? Oh,
What is Invincible? I don't think I'm familiar with this platform.
Yeah.
What is,
Here we go.
no, I'm joking. I mean, I'm biased. I've been a big fan of the series since it started. I mean, since it came out, I looked through some of the comics and delved into some of the story. And looking how they executed it, I'm gonna give it a 9. I just have too many strong points in this series that they've done compared to like other superhero content. I really enjoyed it.
That's fair.
I'd lean more towards O side and giving it a 9 as well. I think overall the season held up to standards, but let's get to the lowest ranking for D. He said a 7 is
Seven.
satisfactory.
7.5. That's better.
7.5. He said I give you a 0.5 on it.
Five
All
more.
right. All right. Why you got it at the 7.5? What was it lacking that you gave it to 7.5 for you?
I feel like some of the stories they spent a little too much time on. Like, I understand they have to flesh out things for the season, but when you go through things like we talked about it last week, the Invincible War should have been 2 episodes. To flesh out what was really going on, what was really happening. I feel like with all the world destruction, it felt like none of that happened when Conquest arrived because niggas was on the beach. Niggas was just walking around like shit didn't just get fucked up a day ago. It was like nothing happened. There was no mention. There was no like, oh, Invincible and another Viltrumite are here or this and this. I mean, that's just like towards the end of the season. I thought in the middle of the season, it got a little sidetracked with some of these filler episodes. Like I understand the Dragon, I understand Machine Head, I understand, the street level stuff that they have going on. But it was like, it took so much time away from that. So then it's like when you have these street level characters that go and then they die, like Rex Explode. It's like they had their little funeral and it was like, well, damn, we built him up this much to have his little funeral, to then spend all this time on this other shit. And then it's like at the end of the season, only thing people care about is Mark and Conquest. It's like, it felt like all that other shit was for naught at this point. That's just my opinion on the season. Otherwise, I would say like the animation definitely I see where they allocated the budget for, definitely for these last 2 episodes. That was one of my gripes because I was like, they had more than enough time to get the animation decent with all these breaks they took. But I would say overall, I thought the voice acting was pretty good. I liked Aaron Paul as Powerplex. I liked Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest. I thought Mark did a good job. The dude that plays Mark did a good job playing the other
Stephen
variants. Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. Oliver's character is actually growing on me too. His voice actor, I can't lie. So, I mean, I'm not saying the season was bad. I just thought some of it was a little
lackluster for you.
a little lackluster. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Who's the next lowest? Was that
Lois
you
was
now?
me. Yeah, it was me. I agree with a lot of the points that D has. I really do. I think the biggest reason why I went 8 out of 10, it wasn't really anything that they didn't do that I thought was they did wrong or they did bad. It's just simply I did not love a lot of the cheesy moments. I did not like how some of the cheesier aspects to D's point were fleshed out as much as they were. I thought that they could have probably had a little bit more tweak to make them just a little bit. And the thing though is, like, this is one of the things about me, and Dion want to speak for you, but I feel like it's kind of true for you as well. We really just don't like a lot of the like goofier stuff, especially with serious moments and comic book material. We get in a lot of ways we get spoiled because when you go over to the anime side, you don't really get that as much. If it's a serious moment or a serious scene or a serious arc, it for the most part stays within that serious element, and it's just come to become so. It's just gotten to a point in my entertainment enjoyment experience to prefer that. But this is a different, like when we talk about American comics and how they do things versus anime, it's a different culture, it's a different world. I do understand that. It's just, it always leaves me a little like, whenever they have that. So the fact that some of those moments were fleshed out a little bit more in this season of Invincible, I don't think that there was anything that they could have done because they did follow the story in the way that it was supposed to go. I think if anything, they could have maybe just altered the original story that we had a little bit more to try, instead of embracing the more cheesier moments, go away from them. But again, what T was kind of saying when he gave his rating, the pacing was fine, the characters were fine. To D's point, the voice acting was fine. All of those things I thought that they excelled in more than they did in any other season. And I don't want my 8 out of 10 rating to kind of downplay the fact that they did do a lot of things better this season. It's just, and again, it goes back to, I kind of more or less relate with D, where it was like some of those moments, I just wish that there was a way that we could have gotten rid of those moments in totality, as opposed to not only have them in the season but also flesh them out.
Real quick, and then I'll let T go. I feel like, and this is just me just thinking real quick, the same type of genetic code Marvel operates on when it comes to the comedic element in a lot of their scenes is kind of has bled into other American-based
I agree.
superhero-based shows, and that's the shit that y'all really don't like. That's what
Right.
I my quick assumption, real quick. But go ahead, T.
Like honestly, with this season, the reason why I gave it an 8.5 because yes, they had those filler episodes, and we all know a lot of people don't like filler episodes, but I felt like those episodes answered a lot of questions to some holes that was left in from season one, where we had the destruction. We got to see some people dealing with that destruction, not letting go of what occurred to them, which was kind of cool because you, sometimes that just gets left by the wayside. You don't see like the people who are affected by Mark and his dad's destruction of like his dad beating the stew out of him. Like with the season, like it was a lot of high stakes storytelling with everything that was going on. The way they picked up from season 2 to season 3, Angstrom Levy, we thought he was we knew he wasn't gone, but we thought he was gone for a little while. But he came back for the Invincible War, which kind of put Mark in the daggone bind with everything that was going on. I didn't like the way that was handled because it was like, oh my goodness, it's an Invincible. Like all of a sudden, y'all know that's the real Mark. But at the end of the day, that like they could have spread that over 2 episodes, but at the same time, it still kind of worked because every 5 seconds, like you got to see day 1, day 2, day 3, and like how they said in season 2, we only can do so much with animation, a certain budget, so we got to work with what we got. This is why when we turn the camera, it helps us save on animation, even though the character's talking, he's not really talking. The character arcs, like it gotten a little more complex. Like Mark is evolving significantly, like kind of dealing with emotional trauma from like all his battles. Debbie, she's starting to try and come out her shell, like actually having a boyfriend and trying to start a relationship with somebody new. Adam Eve, she's actually she took on a bigger role this season, like doing a lot more, being able to use her powers. Omni Man, we actually see him actually trying to get back to Earth, trying to be who he's supposed to be, not as a Viltrumite, but as like a good guy because he's actually kind of delving into humanity a little bit more. In a sense where like he doesn't want to be the bad guy. Conquest, that was probably the tip of my iceberg because for one, it brought back a giant memory. I don't like Robert Kirkman. He wrote this. He also wrote The Walking Dead. As many people know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan beat the stew out of Stephen Ewan's character Glenn.
Yes.
But we got the rematch. Granted, it's not them, but it is them. We all know in our head we wanted Glenn to beat the stew out of Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character. I keep forgetting his name. Like, why is it not coming to me? Negan.
Negan, yeah.
Yes. We all wanted we didn't want to see Marcus definitely not. Alright, from YouTube side we got Malik Janetti. Mark is most definitely not invincible. He has been in many situations where he could have died. He just hasn't. Well, that's just based off of pretty much plot armor. Just like in Dragon Ball Z, we all wanted to see Goku go, but Toriyama is not going to let his guy go. So that's pure plot armor. It, like, this episode added a lot more, like, emotional depth, especially with the moment where Oliver's like, Mark, why didn't you kill him? Like, why let this man go free? Why, like, you gotta handle business. Like, it kind of goes back to the Batman mentality where you have his son telling him, hey, why don't you kill him? Because why don't you keep sending him back to Arkham? He's going to get free and kill every woman, child, man, i.e. the Joker. Like, sometimes you gotta kill one to save a million. So, but you can see, like, even in the moments where Cecil's like, Mark, sometimes you can't always really be the good guy, and it's kind of hard to do that. Sometimes you have to have that moment. But one key thing is I'm really looking forward to going into next season is Eve. When she said they like put a microchip in her brain to stop her from remembering her powers, but it kind of broke when she was traumatized in that moment where she was on the cusp of dying. I can't wait to see more of that, especially the little Easter eggs that they threw in on her powers, where she took down Mark's clothes, put them to the side, and it had like some goop around it. So I want to see what that's going to lead to later on, with everything that's going. So honestly, I give this season like an 8.5. I had my gripes about it, but it was still good, especially with that conquest fight, because honestly, that literally brought so many memories back of Negan and Glenn, with them using the same voice actors with them fighting. They could have had Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing somebody that's helping Mark, but no, it was Conquest. Especially Conquest is like, no one wants to be around me. I am a victim of my success. People think I am unstable. I have no friends. I am forever alone. That in that moment is like, you're so good at what you do, destroying civilizations, destroying worlds, and people don't want to work with you because you're that unstable. It was like little things like that kind of like made his character like you can actually understand Conquest, even for that short time. But I know we're gonna get more of him later on, so I'm good.
Okay. Oh, how about you?
Hold on. We got another one from Malik. I think season one is the best, then three, then two.
I'm fine with that.
I can see
Yeah, I
that.
can agree. I can agree with that.
Yeah, two. Honestly, that's the reason why it's in last was because of the break in between. Bruh, Gertz, I don't feel like working out, man. Bruh, go ahead, Otis.
Yo, I was gonna say one thing real quick. I forgot to add it in my review. I understand that the last ending of the season, it just seems like there's so many storylines that they got going for next season. If we only get 8 episodes, it's like how we gonna tackle the Sacred storyline, the Machine Head storyline.
No.
We got to have. We got. You said what, Rob?
Episode each, just like they've been doing.
But I'm saying like, I mean, I guess we can do that, but they're introducing another storyline that he wanted to explore in the comics, which is Dark Blood, because that never happened. And he was like, I never got to actually do that arc. So I guess the show was gonna adopt that. But it's like if you're gonna do Dark Blood, the Sacreds, Machine Head, the Stone Nigga, then you got to realize we got the Guardians of the Globe, then we got the aftermath of the Conquest battle, then we got Conquest. That's he's gonna end up escaping from this prison Cecil built.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, my bad. Then we got to worry about Angstrom Levy still. It's like, damn, one episode for each joint, and we already know we're going to have some bullshit filler episode with Adam and Mark fucking or something.
Yeah, I don't think.
Like, damn.
I don't think Angstrom is going to be in this next season.
Well,
From the arcs that we see going from here is when he fights Dinosaurus, then do some shit with Eve, the Sequids, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Viltrumite War right after that, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
but then that's another thing though. Like D was saying, there's gonna be a part that he couldn't do in the comic that is gonna be done in the anime. So what I'm thinking is more than likely is the story may not advance as far as people might want it to, who have read the material in this next season. It'll probably kind of start that Viltrumite arc, but it might not. We might not get all the way through it.
I don't know about that.
I don't, but because that's the thing is the question mark is the Dark Blood arc. That's the question mark.
Well, we don't necessarily know if he's going to expound upon that. Did he say verbatim that he was going to expound upon it on this season?
Yeah, because he said he never got to do it in the comics, so he wanted to do it in the anime.
I don't expect it to be a.
Because in the comics they never show Dark Blood. Did Rob Freeze? Yeah, in the comics they never show Dark. They never show him again after the Omni Man joint. Like he's never brought up again. So I'm thinking you bring him back. And you got to realize we have to still deal with the coalition of planets for Nolan to go meet Thaddeus. And then we still got to deal with all this other stuff. I'm not saying like they won't be able to handle it, but it's like pacing wise, like we just got to.
How is it going to go?
I think
how's it going to go? And it's so much focus on these other. Like, I get they got to show the other characters and everything, but it's like, damn, like we just seen Rex Blow die. And everybody talking about Conquest, bro. Obviously, rightfully so. The battle was crazy. But it's like we built up the Rex relationship with Shrinking Ray. We built up Rex and how he's always ready for action, always ready to help out. And it's like, damn, like who even care anymore? And it's like
I mean, they still had the whole funeral for Rex at the end of the Conquest episode, though.
man, that little ass funeral ain't had no repast.
But when you think about it though, he did say that nobody barely knows who he is. His only thing was that he was Rex Splode. He didn't have no family. He didn't have no friends outside of the superheroes that he knew.
Nigga, I'm
Like,
talking about us, the viewers. We don't give a fuck.
So we have
oh,
Malik
I don't know
again.
about that.
So Malik said, Dark Blood is a pretty cool character. To be honest, reminds me of Batman's detective skills. I want to see more of him.
I think at max he'll get a half a episode. Like, you know, the Chthon? Chthon wasn't even in the comics, if I'm not mistaken. Or I can't remember the name of the nigga that he was using. But I don't believe he got a full episode. I think he just like got a portion of an episode, and he was still able to interweave. And I'm pretty sure we've seen instances of Chthon in every season so far in the Invincible series, and he hasn't been in the comics. So I don't think that they'll spend too much time on the Dark Blood. I think it'll be something interesting, but I do think that they'll reach the Viltrumite War by the next season.
You think they'll finish it?
They'll finish it in the next season.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll finish that.
That's a lot to ask. Unless there's more
If they finish the
episodes.
Viltrumite War, Rob, that mean the Sacred episode gonna have to be quick as hell. They're
The
gonna
Sacred
defeat
episode gonna be a one episode. It's not gonna be 2 episodes.
Bro, the Sacred's been building up their numbers for like a year.
The Sacred episodes before was 1 episode, wasn't they?
No, they had one that was 2.
Yeah, they had like 2.
Cause they was on Mars and shit. Remember they went there and it was all that bullshit they was going through, and Mark and Immortal was fighting because Immortal was mad because Mark was stronger.
I could have swore one of them. They fought the Sequids twice now, right? Mark fought him on Mars.
Twice.
The
But
first season
3 episodes covering them.
3 episodes. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the first season. In the
It's
second season,
a
they
lot.
The
did
second season is when they Sequels came back.
the Sequids came back, and that was only like a. I don't know. How,
The end of the first episode with them made it look like they were about to lose to the Sacreds, and then the second episode came back and beat them and stuff. And yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna let you go first and just give your review of everything. But I do have one more comment that I kind of want to ask all y'all as well on Invincible.
how are you feeling?
Oh, no, I was gonna ask this question first, but no, honestly, so I think that this season did a very so I almost feel like the opposite of some of the things said earlier. Like I thought some of those Levy moments were needed because you talk about a show where like every other episode is like hordes of people dying. Having a little bit of Levy there gives a good balance to it, in my opinion. Also, the pacing of things is fast because you only get 8 episodes and you have to jam pack a ton of content into that span. But I don't think it makes it feel less meaningful. At least not to me. Rex dying happened really quickly, really quickly. But I don't feel like it was unnoticed. Right after the Invincible War happened, they did go straight into Conquest, but I don't think that it was mishandled in that sense. Because people were still bothered by that. There were people at the beach, but they're supposed to. Oh, now that they're done with this aspect of life, I think that in their mind, back to being normal, and they're like, no, guess what? A worse nigga than the 11 niggas that was just here rampaging through our planet is here to do worse. So I kind of see both sides of it. Because you can kind of say the same thing about some things with the last Castlevania series that just came out, how accelerated it was. Same thing with Arcane. But I understand on the other side, how much resources goes into making these episodes, and how much you may have to condense some of the content to really get the point across, or else you may never get all of it there because animation is expensive, man. It costs millions of dollars to get a season of a show done. So just picking and choosing and being deliberate about what you can convey, I respected what they got in there, knowing the limited time frame. But I can't understand like you feel like usually like in older anime or older series people deal with the grief of that over several episodes, you know, as opposed to like literally next episode, next drama, even bigger threat coming. To go straight from Angstrom Levy to, conquest like within 24 hours. This shows exactly how crazy the world of that gets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But I'm saying, like, if you look at, oh my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like when the, I don't know if that was, I think that was season 2 that started when we got Angstrom, and we saw Mark and his dad take over the world, and it was like everybody was in hiding and in camps and all of that, and it was like that's kind of what I was thinking too of the effect of the Invincible War, because I know they attacked all the major cities, so I was like seeing people out. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but seeing people out, it was like, damn, like it kind of felt like it was like you had 11 niggas just fuck up every major city, and nobody's like in hiding.
Niggas still on vacation. They gotta get that beach time. You gonna fuck up your vacation because all of the major cities in the you saved up hella money just to go on this vacation. You gonna let a nigga that fucked up New York City? You gonna be like, oh, I gotta go back now.
I'm
the
just
nigga
saying,
Conquest flew through at Mach 10 and split niggas in half.
What was they supposed to do? Run away?
What if they just live in that city though? Like, what if they just live? They supposed to like, oh, we going. You sit indoors.
To hide.
But
they
my thing is,
in the building.
They probably didn't pay the ticket protection fee, so they had to take the trip. They was gonna lose all that money.
Lose all that bread.
I'm just saying,
like,
I don't pay
beach, it's actually hot outside, so like being inside at that point in time is a little crazy.
If Superman just flew through Houston and burned this shit to the ground, you're gonna be like, I still gotta go to DreamCon.
Yep.
See, like, yes, I don't care if I'm walking on hot stones. I'ma be there.
Hey, I've played the floor is lava before. It is what it is.
Yo. Now, wait, did somebody have a question?
Yeah, I did. So I actually kind of looked into this a little bit as well while I had the question. Kirkman believes that he estimates that Invincible will go from anywhere between 7 to 9 seasons. And
7 to 9 now?
7 to 9 is where he's at now. That was as recently as one day, apparently, from an interview he had or a conversation he had with the direct. He says what he would like to see is it go as far as 11 seasons.
Damn, nigga.
I know. If we go on the lower estimate of that though, and with what D was saying, with there being so much content that so many different plots that you have to kind of talk about next season that they proved they told us straight up at the end of this season it's going to be a thing. With that, do you think if we were to have a slower season next season and there potentially being 7 seasons or 8 seasons for Invincible in totality, that still would make good pacing for the overall story? You gotta remember, it's a lot that still has to happen.
I would think
that means they gotta add a lot next season, like Rob was saying.
I don't think we are truly putting in comparison as many stories as there was in the comics and how they're fleshing them out in the seasons. I think they're doing 12 comic chapters, I believe, a season, if I'm not mistaken, adapting per season. So they're already, I feel like, taking their time to a certain extent, but I don't think, because I thought he was saying 5 to 6 seasons, so now he's taking it up a notch.
It
so
had to
who
become
knows?
that success.
He might flesh out some other shit. He might do that now that there's multiple seasons afoot. Maybe he's seeing a gold mine of. But I think that would be a terrible decision.
He saw that Jeff Bezos money. It was like, oh shit. I mean,
we can keep going.
I guess I can flush out this dark blood shit.
I think that would be a terrible decision though, because when some creators get put in this position, they could either have two things. They could either try and monetize this to its fullest and then make a not the same quality of product that they're accustomed to producing, or I feel like they just don't expound upon it in a meaningful manner. And now we just sit here like, okay, so now we just wasted all this for this when all of us really want to see the story of Mark and how he progresses.
The Walking Dead effect.
Yeah.
But you think
So-
about this, Rob. I feel like maybe he don't want to show some of the gruesome shit. Granted, we see.
Oh, he
death a lot
is.
here.
Oh, he is.
But you think they're gonna show
Oh,
the
he is.
sexual assault?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, do
But think
you?
about it. If they show that, then that
No,
means they
but-
gonna show Bulletproof and his backstory.
They-
That's pretty gruesome too.
They might not show it to a T on the screen, but you will hear.
It'll be alluded to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
will know that something is going down that's not supposed
I'll
to
give you
be going
that.
down.
Right.
They might
give
not
you
go
that.
that far. I could be wrong though.
Because that does touch on how the Viltrumites, like, they go after like what they want and shit. I mean, that's what Anissa said in the comics. Like, I wanted it, so I had to go get what I wanted. Like, they're used to doing that other shit, but at the same time, it's like if they flushing out this whole shit in what 11 seasons. What's up, y'all? They like a lot of shit got to get flushed out, bro.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot to still cover.
I got a question. Do y'all feel if E wasn't there, that Mark could have beat Conquest on his own?
No,
Fuck no.
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 Nope.
no.
She singed that nigga Conquest.
Yeah,
So
Like,
if-
bro, if she first of all, she was there and she did absolutely nothing. Conquest was going through them force fields like, all right, bitch, like, I'll entertain you for a while. Then what did he do? He got his hand straight and went right through them guts, killed the bitch. Next thing you know, she rejuvenated herself and then blasted him. If she never rejuvenated herself or blasted him, Mark would have been dead.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't even fight. He had to headbutt the
yeah.
Mark would have been dead. Oliver would have been dead. Conquest would have had Earth conquered. It'd have been over if he wasn't
But
there.
that's the thing. He didn't want to conquer Earth. He didn't want to. He
Oh,
stated
that's
that.
a fact.
He said, "I didn't come here for this. I came to put hands on you."
Hands. I came.
Hands.
That's why I like Conquest, bro. He
He's
came
like,
there and was like,
Anissa-
"I'm here for hands."
He was like, Anissa would have tried to talk you into doing what you need to do. I'm not here for that. I'm glad you resisting. I just want to put hands on you. That's all I want to do. That's all. Like, that's why, honestly, out of all the Viltrumites, probably Conquest is probably my favorite because he's just straight to the point.
And they couldn't have got a better person than Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play him because
Yes.
every role that man has.
Even the
Especially when
awkward
he
laugh?
played my thing is in the character he played in The Boys, playing
Negan?
Homeboy.
No.
Yes.
The alter ego. Oh
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then-
every
and then-
character.
And
Fargo.
then Negan for sure. Oh my goodness, man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, after seeing it, I mean, I confirmed in the zombie apocalypse, like, I am Negan. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Stuff's got to go where it's got to go. You need to get down the way down.
Oh, it's
It
showtime.
it does as well. According to Screen Rant, one of their articles, it does look like they are going to do the Invincible War within the next season.
Yeah, I can
Yo,
does look
did my
like
shit
it.
freeze? Oh, I was gonna say, what do y'all think of that trauma dump he did for that nigga?
Who?
Conquest.
Nah, that was. I was actually
Who's
gonna get into
speaking?
that. Yeah,
I
think.
actually like that shit made me be like, yo, I kind of like. He said nobody would feel bad, and I'm like, I kind of feel bad for the nigga.
Mhm.
Like your own people, like, yo, we supposed to do this, and you get to the point where you the best at it, and they're like, yeah, we kind of can't fuck with this nigga right now. And he's like, yo, take this to your grave. Like, imagine you getting choked out and niggas telling you, like, I'm so lonely, bro. Like, the Viltrumites don't even fuck with me. Like, that's the most emotion we ever seen from a Viltrumite besides Omni.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say Anissa too a little bit because she was.
It
begging
sums
for
up
Mark. She
the.
was begging for Mark to pretty much do his job. Like she wanted him to succeed. Like she really likes Mark. That's why that leads to the essay. What occurs later on, because she takes what she wants.
But in that episode, it ain't seem like she really liked the nigga. She was just like, I'm begging you because somebody else is coming. And that kind of plays into what Conquest was saying. Like, bro, they don't even they don't even like me. Anissa get a name, my name, they just call me Conquest because that's what I do. Like, he's like, I could cry, but nobody would even give a fuck. I'm like, God damn. Nobody.
Yeah, it was deep. It was dark. It was deep. It was dark. I was like, bro, you on one right now. And like the other part that made me think about is like I'm thinking about if I'm like for some reason I went to like if I was Mark in that situation. It's like what is going on right now, bro? Like we was just fighting and now you just throwing this all at me. Like what is happening? It was but it did add like a little. It almost was awkward, which was like perfect to add to that character already. Was just to kind of add something that was so because it kind of like it really, at least for me personally, it really made me feel like this makes me uncomfortable. I'm not even the one in this fight right now, but this just solidified my level of uncomfortability. And again, I do love it. It was really a good touch because it also does touch on the point that you made. We haven't seen as much emotion out of anybody outside of Omni-Man. That's a full-blooded Viltrumite at this point. That also has implications down the line. You know, that's going to kind of give us, it really did, I felt like a good job of giving us an idea of some of the elements that we may see from Viltrumites in some of the future arcs as well.
Do y'all think Conquest gonna escape Cecil's prison? So, like after that, like with that change,
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, next
100%.
season.
Yeah, it's definitely happening.
That's what started.
I was like, what if they be like, let's flesh this out a little bit. Let's have him talk to Cecil and then just break out whenever he wants to.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that's like he's gonna play along for a little bit, know Cecil, have his little bit of fun there, and then when he's ready, he's like, "Yep, now let's go out and confront this planet."
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. If they can get, it feels better knowing that they really want to push to have this fleshed out for like at least 3 to 4 more seasons minimally. You know, if they could go even further than that, then I think that'd be great, especially if they do end up slowing down on some elements. But if we like put it like this, if we at the halfway point, I can't remember. I know I read it, but I need to like reread it. But I feel like this is a good spot
to be at for 3 seasons.
Yeah, like we right before that halfway point. It depends on where I guess season 4 in, because that'll be like potentially the true halfway-ish point. Yeah, but it doesn't feel bad.
When Conquest gets loose, that's when he goes after Mark. So that's when the actual Viltrumite war starts, technically. And that's when they go to Telescara.
I was gonna say, don't Conquest fly away and then Mark meets him during that war? He doesn't directly go after Mark though.
He does with Viltrumites. Well, he technically goes back to his Viltrumites, but he returns to fight Mark Nolan and Oliver and Tech Jacket, if I'm not mistaken, when they were going to Telescara.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when it starts. And then you get Big Boy Thrag. That's
so
my
we
favorite
would see
one.
that next season, you saying?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the beginning and the end of that. Because it's a somewhat quick fight because they fight Conquest. I believe they officially kill him. Thetis pulls up. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. Thetis pulls up. Thetis eventually gets clapped because Thrag is there, and Thrag claps him. And then Thrag fucks both Mark and Nolan up.
And this is after they fly through the planet.
Yeah,
so
after they fly through the planet.
That's really gonna spark some shit.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be. I think they're gonna get through a lot of the Dinosaurus. There was another villain that pulled up, Universa. You might be able to slide in some of that. Dark Blood in there, and then from there you have Nolan pull up, bringing Mark and Oliver, and then you have like a 2-3 episode spread of the Viltrumite War. And I think that
45 minute episodes.
Dinosaurus floods like damn near. I think he floods all of the UK or some shit, or he floods some shit.
Probably.
Yeah, he's on some devious shit with Invincible. So I don't know if he might be the main big bad for next season. Season 5.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh no!
Bro, they could. I mean, depending on how they go from this Dark Blood storyline, they might focus on the Dark Blood joint and then Dinosaurus. Because if this nigga talking about 11 seasons, bro, we in for some bullshit.
I can't get behind that. I cannot.
I hate that we still got to kind of bring up the pacing issue. Like I
I don't
hate
know.
it.
Because of pacing
Not
issue.
issue. It's not an issue. It's not an issue because we just got done saying for this season, you know, it was all done very well. But it's like all right, and this might be what we end up talking about next too. But I'm just gonna say it now because it's just got me thinking. Like solo leveling, it's like mapped perfectly. It's like mapped out perfect. Like because that's the thing. The next
I
two.
would disagree with you though, especially for this season. Especially for this season.
But my
Like, I
thing
feel
is,
like this is hyper accelerated.
Yeah.
a lot of people feel like that, but I mean, the thing is, how many seasons you expect it's gonna have for an anime?
Five?
Even
Like, yeah, 5.
okay, so even if we go 5, there probably will be a season. All right, yes, there will be a season, and it's probably next season where they slow down. I feel like these first 2 seasons with solo leveling, they just was kind of trying to like hook people in, which they were successful in doing. And then I think they'll end it very high action. It's what it looks like according to the chapters that it's going to be 2 very high action episodes. And then next season, they probably will slow down a little bit. It probably will be more like fleshing things out a little bit. But if they do it like that, I feel like with the way they've been giving us content, because it ain't been 365 days and they giving us 2 seasons, something you don't see often. If they with what they've given us, yeah, I mean, I get people could be upset if they were to have a 3rd season where it was a little bit more tamer, but at that point, they would get you to the 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that would.
They don't deserve it. They give you 2 fire seasons.
If you focus on the filler.
2 mediocre seasons.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh, damn.
Damn. All right, so that might as well be the segue. Yep. My bad. Go ahead.
yeah. Oh, we need you to start with this.
We might as well go to the solo leveling segue. So solo leveling, Jeju Island arc, raid arc. This is the 2nd episode in it now, or for 1.5 episode in it now. How you said that you got some issues with this solo leveling?
Two mediocres.
Yeah, I mean, first off, if we're comparing the art from the manhwa to the either season of the anime, they're not even in the same stratosphere of quality, right? Like, I mean, it's not even halfway as good. Pacing, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I understand why pacing is an issue in animation right now. It's because, I mean, the quality versus cost, analysis. So, I mean, I'm not going to get too heavy into that, but I mean, I don't love the pacing there.
Okay.
They've taken out all the little like chibi moments between the shadows where you actually get to see a little bit of their personalities, even though they don't talk.
That's true.
Like, that's completely gone from the series. So, like, all the elements that really made me like a fan of the series are just not present, and like the fights are cool. Like I think they create some good moments. I mean, I was happy to see Idris. You know what I'm saying? Like this season, I think is a exponential improvement on the first season. But is it good? No.
So you like? Oh, your thing is you like, and that might be where we had the biggest disconnect. But that's okay. Is you like when when a story is told in a way where it's fleshing, it's not getting like necessarily straight to it, but it's kind of fleshing out moments that
I like nuance.
You understand. Yeah, you like, and I get that. I do like that's why when I had like the whole thing with pacing with me that end up being kind of hard when I argue it is I do understand there's people out there that like that have they like this opposite side than what I would like. I'm more of the straightforward, you get to it, let me see as much action as possible. And I know that that's not always the best storytelling. It's just the type of storytelling I typically kind of gravitate to more. And that's not all the time. Sometimes I am on the nuance side, and I do really appreciate the nuance. But in this case, for somebody who does like the nuance side, I do understand somebody not liking not just the first season, but the second season in regards to how it's been kind of paced out. It's just hard for me to say it because it's like, I love when they get right to it.
Thanks.
I don't know, man. I mean, when we got to Jeju Island reading through it, that felt like, a moment where you could really see exactly like how much ground that he's covered and how important he is to this world. Talking about Sun Jin Woo.
Mm-hmm.
And this, it almost feels like he's like hyper accelerated into power, and this isn't a milestone for him because this
It
is
feel
like
like
a
he
fight
had
that,
Endgame.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it just feels
I
like
do agree.
your typical isekai with the OP protagonist instead of like no, like he actually worked to get here. He climbed every rank. He beat monsters that people thought were impossible,
Mm-hmm.
and he worked his ass to get there. I was like, oh no, it just this show gives the feeling like he just came out naturally so much stronger than everything that he hasn't really been, except for Igris. Igris is the only thing that actually did feel like a challenge to him.
Yeah, didn't he struggle a lot more in like some of these fights that they've touched
Yes,
upon? I feel like he
absolutely.
struggled a
He
lot more
did.
in the demon door that he went into, where he had to get that elixir
Yeah.
of life for his
He
mom.
was in there for weeks.
Yeah, and they kind of just did brush past that.
They made it seem like it was a day.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
when we talked about this season, we were all assuming that Jeju Island raid arc was not happening this. We
Yeah, I thought that was
they were-
next season.
Yeah, we thought they were
Yeah.
going to sneak towards it or something like that. Just give us little tidbits that it's coming. But we never assumed that it was here now. I mean, I'm happy. I like the animation. But I do understand
Yeah.
your point of view where they have just like missed out on a lot of the core pieces that I feel like a lot of people gravitated towards the manhwa towards.
Maybe I got ADD or ADHD or whatever though, because I, for whatever reason, with solo leveling, I'm just like, yup.
It's perfect for this day and age. It's perfect
Yeah.
for this day
It's-
and age.
it's
when
the
people don't
attention
have
span.
yeah.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
compare that to a Dragon Ball Daima. You have, I feel like, older creators or creators that have been influenced by older creators, and they kind of draw out their 20-30 minutes, i.e. the
Right.
last season of Dragon Ball Daima, where we had to wait most of the season before we even got into the meat and potatoes of what the
Yeah.
fuck was actually going on.
I mean,
Nowadays-
even with that one though, I'll still take solo leveling over Diamond any
Yeah.
second, any minute, any hour.
Okay.
Even
Because
past the nostalgia factor at the end.
nostalgia really isn't a factor for me.
Okay.
And honestly, I go out of my way to rewatch things that I loved as a kid to see if they're still way in now, and most of them don't.
Okay.
I feel you on that.
That's fair. Yeah, I definitely get that.
Yeah, if anything, I'm probably a little bit harder on things that I used to enjoy when I was younger than I am on new properties.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
I get it. Let me ask you this too. If they had to slow down, if they had to slow down specifically the parts of the story that we're at right now, like for this season, and then the next season it kind of had the pacing that it's had for this season, do you think that would have been like more
That would've
digestible,
been
more
perfect.
enjoyable? Yeah,
That would've been
I get
perfect.
how you feel. I really do. I genuinely get how you feel because I can't see that. I definitely can see that argument, and I don't even think that that's necessarily a wrong argument. It's just I don't know. Maybe I've accelerated in regards to because there's so many shows where I'm just like, can you get to it? Can you hurry up? Like maybe it's from Game of Thrones. I don't know what exactly was the part where because I feel like I have more patience with things like this, but at some point I just switched over to being like, okay, whatever series is giving me exactly what I want to see, when I want to see it, I'm game. If you tell me this is going to be possibly, if they give me a little teaser trailer and they have a little aspect and then we get to the season and it's only a little bit of it that's in there, I'm usually upset. But if it's like, oh no, we covered that whole part that we gave you a little tease for before the season came out, I'm like, oh yeah, y'all did y'all thing.
Right. So for me, like when it comes to watching pretty much any series of any genre, two of the most important things to me are character development and world building. And
Okay.
I think that they've completely skipped out on all of that in how they portray solo leveling.
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
you don't get to really see how even the shadows have their own personalities, even though they don't talk, and how they develop their relationships with Sung Jin Woo over time. You don't see how the hunter world really adjusts and reacts to someone like Sun Jin Woo, like being there present. Like all of those little things that like actually made solo leveling feel different than just your basic dungeon crawler animation.
Hmm.
Like those are and I
Yeah,
didn't appreciate that.
I get that. That's
Mhm.
you did a great argument on that because I was stunned for a second. I'm like, what do you mean?
They're
But
banking.
it makes sense.
They're banking on the animation and the fight sequences to really end. To be honest with you, outside of that, in the main story of him trying to save his mom this arc, I feel like those are the main components that I was pushing this season. Albeit, like now I was saying, good enough components for me. I'm guessing Nio. I'm guessing everybody on Squad Nero. We thoroughly have been enjoying this season. Obviously, we still have those gripes, but that you have. But I guess it doesn't factor in as much from our point of view.
Yeah, I'm a stickler. Most of the times when the crowd assessment of a thing is one way, I usually go the other way.
I
Hmm.
feel you. I understand though. I understand completely because it is. I was sitting here wondering what was missing in these seasons. I'm like, this shit is fire, but it's something that isn't captivating me like the when I fucking read that solo leveling manhwa or when I seen that first season, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I read that manhwa. I didn't want to stop reading that manhwa.
Hmm.
With
I burned through that one so
Yes.
quick. It
with
was
with these seasons, it's like, oh, I can skip this episode. Oh, I don't necessarily have to watch this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
But the serious episodes, Jeju Island arc, all of that stuff, that's the stuff that I could really tap into. So I completely understand what you're talking about.
Yo, I got a question though. Are all manhwas in color?
Yeah.
yes they are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe reading this in color is like you damn near seen it twice, so you kind of only want to see the other shit get animated besides, like the speaking parts? That's kind of how I
The
feel. I'm like, I kind of just want to see the fights animated. And there's some parts of the story I want to see as well.
Hmm.
But it's like when I was reading Demon Slayer, everything's in black and white. It was like I kind of want to see what this all looks like. Seeing
Hmm.
seeing the manga or reading the manga was like you damn near seen this already.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That it kind of puts the
not even
anime.
you seen it already. You're seeing a downgrade because the manhwa looks better than the
Yeah,
animation.
Yeah.
the art
Yeah.
is different. That's always my worry with what's my show called? The Tower of God. Because
Oh,
it's
that,
in Tower of God, I don't think that the anime
it's
does
not as good. It's nowhere
yeah.
near the webtoon. Like it's not even the same.
You're right. Yeah.
Nowhere near.
No, I would say this. I guess maybe I saw less of it like that in Solo Leveling than I did with Tower of God. But Tower of God, it got so bad that I'm like, y'all like literally turning me away from the series. Where I'm much rather to get visual entertainment. I rather just continue reading the is that a manhwa too?
It's a manhwa.
Yeah,
Well,
I rather
webtoon. One of the,
Yeah.
it's both.
Yeah, I rather just read because I mean, and that's the thing. Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Like the colors that they use, just around weapons, right? Like you don't get that. You don't get that in the anime. It's like, yo, this is like a
The
work of
second
art.
season, especially of Tower of God, is so underwhelming compared to like the content that was written. Like that arc is supposed to be going crazy right now.
Yes.
Like, and it's not. It hasn't for a second, and I have my theories on why that is happening. I mean, it's a Korean series, so I don't know if they're gonna take it as serious as they would another Japanese series for one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are they both Crunchyroll exclusives, though?
yes, they are.
That might. I've been having a little bit of a. I'm starting to get a little theory on that too. I think that might play into it a bit as
Maybe.
well.
Maybe that shit limits them because we all assumed Jeju Island raid arc. They could have took the JJK route, dropped some crazy arcs, then dropped a movie, and then boom, you got some crazy, or the Demon Slayer, or even the Dragon Ball to a lesser extent, I guess. You have some crazy arcs to pull everybody in, then you drop the movies to really get the revenue boosted. Now you can afford all the animation that's gonna be forced that you have to deal with after that, or like a Bleach or anything like that. Stack up the bread in the movie, but they didn't take that route, and I feel like that kind of fucked them, especially with Solo Leveling. Jeju Island Raid Arc movie that put butts in seats,
Yeah, I'm going to see that. I'm going to see that Expeditions.
butt in
Yeah.
seats. So I don't know.
Like, imagine hypothetically if they would have did this show where it ends right before the Jeju Island arc, and then that movie came out right after.
Yeah,
I would have
Yeah.
had to go. I would have had to go.
Yeah, for a fact.
That's true.
they would have had everything they needed to be able to do everything that they would like. But
Then
now,
I feel like the animation would have been up a level too.
Exactly.
yep, exactly. So
It's fair points.
who knows? We're figuring this shit out. Hopefully, they're able to get in their lab and figure this shit out too. Because now that he bringing it up, now that point of view is marinating on me, and now I kind of feel the same way.
I'm just
It's
saying,
like I get it.
Crunchyroll,
Yeah.
if you listen, hit me up. We gonna get your shit right, so you can like actually like go back and fix God of High School, fix Noblesse.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
shows that y'all fumbled that we can just retweak and get back up there.
Yeah,
Just
God of
hit me
High
up.
School was the worst. God of High School.
No,
was
Bless though was another one. It
No,
was
Noblesse
terrible.
is a crime. Noblesse is actual crime.
It's bad, bro.
At least like God of High School, they did it bad, but the editing is so crispy that I can almost like live with it a little bit. Noblesse, they didn't even get the tone of that series right.
Nope.
Nothing about it was done correctly.
Jeez.
Completely
They turned
agree
it
with that.
into
You said it was called No Blessings?
Noblesse,
Noblesse.
Noblesse, Noblesse.
And
One
it's
of the
such a fire series.
man, one of the best battle shonen type series that I've ever seen. Like it comes off looking like your boy band pop 90 like a Vampire Night type show, but it's no, like they get busy. There's a story there. There's depth. There's some good characters. Really enjoyed that franchise. I'm so upset with what Crunchyroll did with it.
I forgot that was a Crunchyroll exclusive too. It literally turned me when I got. That's when I know it's real bad. When I stopped thinking about it after the animation come out, because like if it's good, it kind of linger with me a little bit. Like I'll be like, man, you know what I want to go rewatch or something to happen. You know, if somebody asks for a recommendation and you go, oh, you know what you need to watch, like something will trigger it in my mind. That was so bad. I like forgot it existed.
Yeah.
And it does not deserve that.
This is actually a great segue. Unless anybody else had anything else to say about Solo Leveling.
Nope.
Great segue. We were already talking before we started this, and I think we'll end off on this. We don't have to worry about the Spider-Man leaked actor. I might just say that at the end real quick. But y'all already talking about terrible anime adaptations. But we were talking about the worst anime endings that we have seen so far within our lifetime. I know we had some heavy hitters such as, I guess, Demon Slayer ending wasn't too good.
Jujutsu
JJK is a toss-up. You got My Hero Academia.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan, most definitely. What is the most prominent one, real quick from y'all, and then y'all quick thoughts on why y'all remember this specific anime ending being so ass?
I got mine. I can go first.
Go ahead.
Soul Eater.
Oh, don't get me started. Do not get me started. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, first off, what the fuck is the power of courage? No one asked for that.
Yeah.
The correct way to do that arc was already written, and they chose to just not go in that direction whatsoever. So, no. Yeah, just why does Excalibur exist? Like, that's not just the ending, that's just a thing in general. But I really enjoyed Soul Eater until we got to that last episode, and then I was like, yeah, let's set this on fire.
Quick question.
And then you get Fire Force.
Yeah. So now that you know have you finished reading Fire Force?
Yes, I have.
Now that you know the story of Fire Force is like the prequel to Soul Eater, does that help alleviate some of the things? I haven't finished Soul Eater, so I don't know. But has that at least alleviated some of the things?
No, because like the ending of the Soul Eater anime versus the ending of the Soul Eater manga is so vastly different.
I got you.
Like there's so much more content that went on that they just chose to not include by just delivering like one of the world's worst endings. Like no, there's you have to now. I need Soul Eater Brotherhood. Like that's the only way to fix it.
Okay. I see what you're saying. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Demon Slayer.
You want to go T?
Demon Slayer.
Demon
Demon
Slayer?
Slayer. I'm like every time I think about it because I know we're gonna get this nonsense in movie form, and I'm not looking forward to it. What is it supposed to be? 3 movies for this last arc?
3 movies. Maybe they fix it. Who knows?
Maybe they fix it. They ain't fixing it. If they fix it, the anime will be way better than the manga. That's all I'm gonna say. This will be the first time the anime is better than the manga.
That happens though. That happens.
The anime for Demon Slayer has been better than the manga. Like no question there.
Yeah.
But the only thing about the anime is that I'm gonna be honest, it's the art style that keeps it up. It's mid. It's mid. But my whole thing is if they follow the
I don't agree with that.
It's mid.
Yeah, mid is crazy.
It's mid.
Yeah, I don't think mid. I don't think it's mid.
Okay. Here's the thing. Because the storyline follows the same as the manga, the art style is pretty. Knowing that, literally, we gonna get that stupid freaking ending.
But ending aside,
but getting to that last spot was fire, right?
Yes,
like, going through the rest of the castle.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's the thing. That's what pissed me off about the ending. That last arc was so daggone fire. But then when you get Muzan versus Tanjiro, it just gets such a cookie cutter ending.
I think beginning wasn't too bad.
Beginning of
that fight.
No,
beginning of that fight wasn't too bad, but the ending of that fight was.
I'm saying the ending of the manga, it's so daggone trash. It don't make sense.
It sours it.
It just makes it so bad. Like literally, the Infinite arc was heat. Here's the Mugen Train heat. Entertainment District heat. Swordsman Village when you got gun breathing, air this bad boy out, like having that moment, heat. Infinite
training arc, heat.
The Infinite Castle. We know we gonna get these heat fights, but then once we get to the ending, I might just walk out the theater because I know what's coming. I might.
That
just
animation
walk out the
gonna be too beautiful for you.
No,
that animation gonna be way too beautiful.
I don't think it's far from the best ending, but there are many worse.
Yeah,
like, a lot of
my example. I'm not gonna lie to you. The one that I got to is very similar to what you're saying for Demon Slayer, but it's worse.
Go ahead
now.
I got 2 that kind of fit into this category. One, I think other people in here will share with me. That one is Attack on Titan. I'll be very brief on that. I think Attack on Titan was really like the ending was just extremely disappointing for the simple fact that it was such a unique anime that was built up, and because I mean, who did you have that was like? Who did you have that was? What anime do you have where you have literally giant, towering monsters? That's like.
Every mech anime ever?
Pretty much.
I don't get into mech like that though. That's all right. I give you that because I don't watch too much mech.
Attack on Titan is a mech anime.
Damn.
That's
Damn.
Okay, y'all.
I told you earlier on.
He was waiting.
Oh man. We can have a deep dive on that. But I think here's the thing though. It's just the way that the story was kind of built up from the beginning of it. My anticipation was that it was just going to be more when we finally got to the part where it was like, all right, Eren is like, I want to get my clap back. Like I'm fed up. We know that he had already went through a lot. We know that everything that had happened at this point, it was like you can understand where there's some trauma behind it. And they did a decent job of explaining where all of that trauma would come from, and then just the sacrifices that we had to see various characters that we knew and grew to understand and appreciate, to just see them, like to just see how it ended, where it's just kind of like Eren goes on this rampage, and instead of like that animosity kind of being more so pointed on side that was causing a lot of it. It having to go back to Eren, who was just kind of like, no, I'm just fed up. Like, I get it. I understood it especially after the anime side of it. I understood it a little bit better. I did appreciate it a little bit more when I saw it in the anime side. But it's just kind of like even at that point, it's like I can't fully love it. I don't think I ever would be able to fully love that ending. I don't, unless it was just done over or done in a different way. I don't think that I ever will be able to fully enjoy it. And if it was maybe if you look at it from the angle of like it was supposed to end as a tragedy, then yeah, like I get where it could have kind of went the way that it went, but it's still, again, it's just nothing that'll ever be able to completely get me to like enjoy and fully embrace that ending. The other one, now I will say this, you brought up Mecha. The one that I'm about to bring up is actually a mecha. I have seen a few of them. I haven't seen a lot of them, OT. I would never, I'd never say I was like very in depth in the entire like mecha space. This one might even be more so to your argument where it's like Attack on Titan. It is actually very similar, but the ending of it, it was one of the few that I enjoyed, and the ending of it, I just absolutely hated. And that's Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I knew you were going there.
Yeah, you know.
We gotta watch the movies. You gotta watch the movies.
But see, that's the thing. Like, if you gotta, I did, and it's like I get it. It's better. The movie ending's way better. I do agree. But it's like when you watching an anime series like that, and then you like, okay, this is where it's about to end. Like, we're at that end, and then for them to just pivot like the way that they did with that, it was just so terrible. So many, and that's the thing. It's not even just me. It's so many other people that I've seen. It's been like, I'm enjoying this show so much, and I just like I tell people, it's like it's hard for me to tell people not to watch the show because it's like up until the ending, it is so good. It's like one of the most captivating and like talking about tragic anime. It's just like it embodies all of that perfectly and so well.
Protagonist fathers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was so. I was, you know how like you watch something, it's like I'm just here for the ride now at this point. It's anime like that having an ending that just pivots so much like Evangelion did was just. I hope I never see something like that again. Even though I doubt that that'll probably be the case. But yeah, that one, I would say that one to me is worse than Demon Slayer. Like, I'll take Demon Slayers all day over that. That ending was like literally to the point that O said you have to go watch the movies to kind of get some level of satisfaction from it.
Yeah, that's accurate. I agree. Yeah, Evangelion. And to the point where I will refuse to rewatch the anime.
Yes.
Past a certain point, like past a certain episode, I'm just gonna. Yep.
Not at all. Same way, oh. And that's why I never did that for any other. I can't think of another one at least that I've personally done that for. But oh, really?
Yeah.
You go off at a certain point. You don't like the dark tournament part.
The light tournament.
Yeah.
I like
mixing
the build up to the light tournament, but like Yusuke Urameshi deciding mid fight that he doesn't want to fight anymore, I think is the most asinine thing ever. Yeah. Like that just like completely betrays the character that we've seen all the way up to this point. Now, if he goes into that fight, wins, and says like, "Fuck that, I don't want to lead. I'm still leaving," that's some Yusuke shit. But. Saying like, oh yeah, I don't want to fight anymore mid-fight, mid-important ass fight, is just it goes completely against his character in my opinion. I think that's one of those endings I add to that too, and I love it.
Yeah, I get that.
How about you, D?
I would say I'll have two as well. Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. I would say just Demon Slayer because of like the ending, like T said, the power of friendship, and then it was like we talked about Muzan so much from the beginning, and it's like his final form was a baby. It was like, damn, like we just read through the Infinity Castle arc with Akaza battling Tanjiro and Giyu, and then it's like it was just so much going on that led up to that, only for the ending to be that, and it was a little disheartening. But then I would say Attack on Titan. Finding out that Eren was the one that caused all of this, like he led the Titan to eat his mother, just for everything to go through, and it was like, yo, this is kind of wild because it makes no sense. Because
Yeah. The fourth
at the end, the
season.
cycle repeated
Yeah,
itself.
the fourth season of Attack on Titan discredits how good the first season was. Like you set up
Yes.
Aaron's motivation, you set up a goal and intent for the series, and you go back and find out, oh, he did this to himself essentially in the end. If
It's
that's
like
not
it's
the
mad.
biggest piece
Yeah.
of bullshit I've ever seen, bro. Come on,
Bro,
man.
with Attack on Titan, this was my. I don't know if you count Avatar: The Last Airbender as like an anime, because people say it is, but Attack on Titan was like my introduction to anime. So season 1, I binge watch. I'm like, yo, this shit is insane.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yo, I might as well just read the manga. And then I get to the ending, and I'm like, there's no way I was invested in this show for it to end like this, for his motivation to be something that he did to himself, just for it to repeat itself. I mean, there's probably, something that we could learn from that, but it was like, yo, y'all started off hot with this shit, and this is what we got.
Yeah, I could have accepted, Aaron, like, saying like, yeah, I'm angry, I am unleashing my fury, this is where I ended up. But him saying, oh, I was a slave to freedom, and like kind
Yeah,
of just
bro.
removing all responsibility of choices that he made, that was the most bitch ass shit I've seen in my life.
Like, couldn't you just rage out? What was wrong with that?
I'm
Couldn't
okay.
it just been a rage?
Remember his dad was like, Aaron, why are you making me do? Because it was like Aaron was in the future, and it was like, yo, like, bro, what's going on? When we get to that part, I'm like,
the level of crash out Aaron hit at the end of season 1 fighting Annie, like that just gave justification to what he does. Like, you know what, you got it, bro. Get it? We got to wipe out 80% of the population. We got to wipe 80%. I get it, but like to cry about it to the nigga and manipulating for like his whole lifetime, nah, bro. Like, we're not doing that here.
Yeah, it's sour. Nah.
I think I have one, and I don't know if it falls under anime, but it's animation. It's fucking Ninja Cowboy.
That was
It's anime.
It's
Not
Ninja
even the end.
fucking Cowboy.
I agree with T. Not even the end. Yes.
When they added the mechs, that show became nothing.
Terrible.
Yep.
You're just sitting here like, what the fuck did I?
100% agree.
What the fuck did I? Yo, that first, it's just
The first
like
episode was
biggest-
crazy.
It's the biggest slap to my face because how this shit was going. I don't think there's no written version of this, right?
No.
I don't think so.
No written version of
I
this.
mean,
story,
technically, because it's just the Punisher story, but as ninjas.
basically, but it was so cold. That first episode, it literally. I feel like it had the potential to break Twitter. How everybody was talking about that shit. We was scrambling around like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck is this shit? This is fire." Or, if I'm not mistaken,
Naruto's about to be uncrowned as the best ninja show. That's how much hype that Ninja Comic we had
Yo.
at first.
Yeah.
for
And
them
then it
to
did.
do what they did. Like, boy, I don't even remember that ending. Did it even
No
end?
one made
Oh,
it.
did I? I was about to say, I don't
made it
think I
to the
did.
ending.
So you know,
I don't think I
did.
Here's the thing. What really killed me about that show was the ending credit scene with him riding on the motorcycle. You know what literally came to my mind seeing that? The Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno at the end where he's walking and you hear the song playing, and he's just sitting there just trying to get a ride.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally, it was either that or a bad Lifetime movie. That's what popped in my head while watching this.
That shit.
That was a insane.
Yeah.
Honestly, I should slap you for bringing that back to my memory. I
Yeah.
flushed that out my brain. I
As of
forgot
recently?
what it was called. I forgot what it was called at that point.
You gotta blame yourselves because y'all picked some great ass fucking, some great goddamn examples, and I was like, which shit really pissed me,
That was-
really
that was a
grinded
good
my
one, though.
gears. Ninja
yo,
Cowboy.
but we talked about that episode, what T did. Talked about how crazy that shit was. Like, bro, we really were talking. We had a whole show on that. From
we
one
was fangirling. We was fangirling over that
Absolutely.
we was like, bro, from the first, like, because even in the first one, we was like, we seen like the main character get killed off that fast, and it turns out it wasn't even him. and it's like, yo, this show is gonna be deep as hell. By like towards the end, when T was like, they gonna do Power of Friendship, and like Niall said, they had that 3D art with the mech suits. We was like really disappointed. Like
Change
for
channel.
6 weeks, we was like, yo. And then what was it, episode 3 or something, when they had that fight inside of a shop and everybody was going crazy over that shit?
Yeah, that was episode 2. That was episode 2. If I'm not
Episode
mistaken.
two,
Bro, like episode 1, episode 2, niggas like, yo, this is gonna dethrone everything we've even thought of.
Bruh, it was heat. It was heat.
It was so amped. It was so amped.
Before, literally, as soon as they brought in the mechs, and that art changed, the art style
Put the fries in the bag.
It was like,
Put the
like,
fries in the
oh,
bag. Put the fries in the bag.
So, question, you guys. Do you think that an ending can, like, affect like the quality of the rest of the show? Like, if
Yes.
the show ends so
Yes.
bad,
Yes.
Yeah.
so like, how can we call One Piece the GOAT if we don't see the ending?
Here we go.
fair. That's
Damn.
no, that's fair.
Damn.
That's fair. If One Piece got a terrible ending, it is going to have absolutely that's going to be damaging.
It's gonna
That's
have
gonna
do that,
damaging.
I'm gonna be plotting. If it do that, I'm gonna be plotting.
It's like almost like we've like
Crazy
never
got
seen
bad in.
before, right? Like, Game of Thrones didn't end like terribly. Right?
Don't do that though, because that's like a fear of mine.
Yeah.
Is that One Piece
Yeah.
ends badly? That's like like I think about that from time to time. Like, it don't because especially with so much more stuff coming out that like is kind of lackluster. I just start sitting there and it'll make me think about what I do consider to be really good that's still going, and I'm like, yo,
I'm wishing for
is
a
One Piece gonna fall?
Ninja Convoy crash out. That's what I want for One Piece.
Bruh.
Rob,
Yo.
why? What is wrong with
Why do you don't even have a reason to hate it?
You haven't even
I
like
do.
really watched it. You haven't even
That
tried.
shit is out of spite.
Naruto, yeah, it is. Naruto is my goat.
Imagine niggas being like, yo,
Why?
finally
It's
started
the
One
worst of
Piece.
big
I'm on
three.
episode 1,000,
What?
and that shit ass.
Here we go.
Naruto is the worst of the big three.
Absolutely.
Wow. I don't. Wait.
What's the big three?
What are you? Yeah. What are you classifying?
Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of Bleach too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bleach is fire, bro. I'm not gonna hold you to Bleach is fire.
If I'm coupling in the anime, if I'm looking at it from a grand scheme of things, if I'm coupling in the anime, that Bleach anime was straight dog water ass, especially, and it's so.
No, but you can say the same thing with Naruto. Naruto had like 2 years of filler.
Did you watch that?
I have watched it.
We talking about bad endings.
Oh wait, no, I think that ending for
The Kagura switch up, I can see where a lot of people did not like that at the
I
time.
can also see why a lot of people didn't like it. I understand
We
it.
we think that adding aliens to a ninja show is a good ending.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
They were kind of alluding to it the whole time, though, if I'm not mistaken.
They were alluding to aliens.
Yeah, they had one of the clans that they talked about before previously when they went back in time was the Kaguya clan. So they have.
Yeah, I mean, the Kaguya clan have been mentioned, but when did they mention aliens?
It wasn't till the ending.
Yeah.
When you got when we really started to kind of get more of the information. And the thing is, the wild part is, y'all remember, we was all having that build up over the dude like Higaram, whatever his name is, the dude with the first one that looked like he looked like Kaguya's son, the one that ended up making the tail bees. Remember the sage. Remember the conversation. This is how I know he not wrong in that it came at the end, because there was rumors when Naruto was coming out. There was rumors of like, what is the lore around the Sage of the Sixth Path? Because we just didn't get much of it. We didn't get much. We were getting more about Madara, which that's why Madara made sense to be the last villain, because that's who we were getting all of it. That everything was building up to Madara. So, but outside of Madara and what we would get on like the first Hokage and Madara when they was kind of going through their thing, like we was getting pieces of that, getting pieces of the Uchiha, getting pieces of like the lost history from that realm. And then when we got to the final arc, it's like the Sage of the Six Paths has that little talk with Sasuke and Naruto in that little world. And then now we getting all of this. Now we getting some more. Now it's, oh, wait. Then even before that, I'll even give you before that, we had the scene with, what was that? The Zetsu, when Zetsu was like kind of alluding to it was something else. But that was that from that, and that's all the last arc. That's all the very last arc.
All right.
So I get that. Listen, what O is saying, a lot of people agree with you. See, now I'm biased because I like Boruto. That's the only really reason why I'm biased, is because I actually enjoy the manga for Boruto, and that goes way deeper into like the aliens.
But
It goes.
tell me that adding the alien in Boruto and expanding on it there wouldn't have been better than like actually end with Madara, and then like in a one-off scene out at the very end of Naruto, we see Madara raised from the grave. You don't think that'd be
I wouldn't
better?
have had an issue with that. I wouldn't have personally. Personally, I wouldn't have had an issue with that. I do agree with when I look, because I'd be a hypocrite. When it first dropped, I was like, we don't need none of this Kaguya stuff. Like, they could have did this in a movie after like Naruto was over, and then they did Kaguya in a movie. They ended up doing that with what, Toneri? They could have did a Kaguya movie, then a Toneri movie, and then Boruto, and I would have been fine. Personally, I would have been fine with that. But I also don't. It was so many moments. See, sometimes I just get caught up in moments, like in that last arc. But see, I get what you're saying, because Guy didn't fight. Mike Guy didn't fight Kaguya. Mike Guy fought Madara, so it's not like I would have lost that if they didn't focus on. You got a point. I don't know. Oh, you right. T, you right. Obi bringing in some points, or it's like,
I'm not taking no more Naruto slander. That's the best out of
I
that.
got plenty. I've got plenty.
best. The best.
Yeah, don't get them
Wait,
started.
so-
Like I
wait,
said, don't
wait,
get them started on
so-
Jiraiya.
So what's your order for the big three?
One Piece, Bleach, Naruto.
I'm not mad at that though. Bleach is underrated to me. I don't like out of the big three. I feel like it's the one that's like the least championed and least talked about. But
It's also the most
fire.
influential.
One Piece is overrated. As I'm wearing a Zoro jacket. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
One Piece is fire. One Piece is just a
It's okay.
crazy adventure.
It's okay.
I mean, I think it's got some of the best world building. I think they set the
Ever.
standard for world building in fiction at this point.
Yes.
I mean, they've done too much of it almost. That it almost hurts them, because it's like
It's a lot.
why
It's a
does
lot.
5P still matter? 600 episodes later.
Later, yeah.
But I mean, the fact that it does, I mean, credit to they did forget to mention anything about the poneglyphs for 10 years of content or something. But I mean, that's neither
Wild.
here or there.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that so One Piece is kind of like the standard, right? Like that's what if you have elements of One Piece in your story, you're automatically going to be at a higher tier than stories that don't have any One Piece
Elements,
in
yeah.
there. Bleach, I think, is a lot more influential that people want to give it
Give it
credit
credit.
for. I feel like you don't have shows like Jujutsu Kaisen, Fire Force,
Facts.
My Hero Academia, Hell's Paradise. I feel like it's a lot of shows that were birthed from
Facts.
the feel and aesthetic of Bleach. I mean, people like to give Naruto credit for having the side trope. I mean, that's existed in battle anime since long before Naruto. I mean, it was also in Bleach too, if we're being technical. So I mean, I don't give Naruto the level of influence that a lot of the anime but I mean, a lot of the things that make Naruto special come from DBZ anyway.
Yeah.
Not to
That's it.
discredit Naruto, I think there's a lot of great moments in Naruto. I think there's some great characters. I think people champion the wrong ones. People love Rock Lee for some reason.
Hey, leave him alone.
Yeah.
And,
Leave him alone.
I mean, this
It's
this
just
guy-
it's
Leave-
Bruce Lee.
Leave him alone.
I'm just saying his win-loss rate is nasty.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
is.
It's not pretty.
A lot of L's.
No, it's just a lot of
Leave
L's.
Rock Lee alone.
Mike Guy single-handedly helped Rock Lee
Meanwhile,
thrive.
meanwhile, Gaara literally went from being a child soldier to being a well-adjusted adult, and nobody
Yeah.
gives him any credit for existing whatsoever. None. And he won that. Please make that make sense to me.
That's very
Yeah,
true.
Gara is one of my like favorite developments of a character in a series because when you first get introduced to him, he just like rage mode, just
But, like,
you're
he
crazy.
literally makes it rain somebody's blood
Yeah,
and covers himself with that person's technique. Like, oh, let me borrow your umbrella real quick so I don't get any of you on me.
Yeah.
yeah, he was a demon, and then just to go from that to like you a real leader, bro.
Domesticated. That nigga domesticated.
And it's like, but he literally sacrificed his life for his entire.
Yeah,
Like,
Gara real.
He real.
he is though.
You right. People should put a little bit more respect on his name.
As I'm wearing a necklace with the symbol he put like has over his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, the death.
Nah, it means love.
Oh, right, because God means death, right?
Yeah.
Damn. All right, enough shitting on Naruto now.
I got plenty more to do. We're gonna do that.
We got
See,
a side
you
conversation.
started with One Piece, and then I was like, Naruto though.
Yeah, I thought I
Well,
was gonna get
I
my.
got some One Piece standard too.
I know.
Oh.
Yo, I hate how people act like it's perfect because I do agree it's not. It's not.
Yeah, say that one
still
more time
great.
again. Say that. No,
It's not
But
perfect.
it's
It's
still
not
better than
perfect, but it's
Naruto,
still
though.
great.
It's still better than Naruto.
That helps. Oh. You had to go
See?
and pick me while I was down, But real quick, let's dive into the Sadie Sink news. We're just gonna touch upon this real briefly. Stranger Things star Sadie Sink has joined Tom Holland in next Spider-Man movie. Now it's a lot of speculation. You can find some articles on Deadline and Screen Rant if you are interested more. I know some people on YouTube, such as Den of Nerds, also touches on the topic. We have some rumors speculating that she's a different version of Mary Jane. Some speculating that she is a part of the X-Men as Jean Grey, or could be another one of the mutants. Like Firestarter, I think she was a mutant. I think that's her name, and from the comics, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think she was actually created in the Spider-Man series.
Spider-Man is Amazing
Spider-Man and Friends, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. How are y'all feeling about this? She's the actress from Stranger Things. She was recently, I think, joined the Stranger Things seasons or Stranger Things cast in the last season. Pretty cool. Dope character. But how are y'all feeling? And what do y'all think? What character you think she might be playing?
Honestly, I don't care who she plays as long as her script is good and she plays the role correctly. That's all I care at this point.
I'm a T.
Okay.
Facts.
Because honestly, we don't know who she's playing, like they said, so we can't really give like a real good thought on the process. So good for her. She's in a role in the MCU. Anybody that gets a role in the MCU is gonna make bread. Congratulations to her. But yeah, I'll look forward to seeing who she's gonna play. But I need the script to be good. I need her acting to be on par with the character, and I need them to just do their thing. That's all.
I got a
She is
question.
Jean Grey. I hope they don't do no Phoenix Force shit though.
Not in this movie.
I think they're gonna try to force her into playing a red-haired character, and I'm a little worried about that. Because I mean,
I was T or O. You on the same boat as me?
yeah, but personality-wise, I think she would make like a great like Kitty Pryde. I think she like has a lot of that spunkiness, like that kind of personifies that, and I think that. I mean, Kitty is an underrated character in the X-Men, so I mean, given someone with a little bit of star power, that role could highlight some of the cool stuff that she does because Kitty is kind of busted in the comics. Like she's really nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my hope for her. But I mean, wherever she goes, I mean, I think she's a pretty talented actor. So wherever she lands on, I think she'll do a good job.
Gotcha.
Yeah, having her be one of the X-Men would be dope though too. They bring in the X-Men for that.
Allegedly, how some people are coming to that conclusion is because some rumors are saying that, or Kevin Feige, if I'm not mistaken, said that X-Men characters will be sprinkled throughout these next couple of Marvel films, before they actually start the mutant arc or mutant saga after Secret Wars. So we'll be introduced to a couple of the new versions of the X-Men that they have cast that we don't possibly know about.
Yeah.
Just so we could get familiarized with them instead of them just fucking dumping them in the next fucking saga. We don't know shit about them.
Some type
thing.
of background. Yeah, because you kind of answered my question then, Sage, with that. Because there is credence to it. Because my whole thing was, I'm like, are people saying she gonna play a red hair character role because she just simply has red hair, or like, was there any reason to believe that it would be that? Because like, people wear wigs and whatnot. Like, she could dye her hair.
Yeah.
Like, she don't have to be limited to a red hair role.
I was seeing different speculations that she might be Gwen Stacy or even Spider Woman or something along that lines as well. Keep in mind, they could be bringing her from a different universe, possibly. So, I mean, we know that that's a factor with this multiverse saga, but who knows? And Sony wanting to push for it to be a multiversal type film.
Right.
But a lot of people were also speculating that Kingpin was going to be the big boss, and they were going to take from, I can't remember what comic book run it was. I believe it was Daredevil. When Kingpin took over as mayor, and then all of the Marvel heroes in New York City, if I'm not mistaken, ganged up to try and take him down. Which I think we might get.
Yeah, that was my joint, Devil's Reign. I
Devil's
think.
Reign. Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's a great comic book. I'll put that as on my list of one of the recent comic books that I enjoy.
And Daredevil tapping into what it's doing right now. I don't believe that Kingpin will be the final villain. I think Muse will become a villain that's a lot more detrimental to Daredevil as a character than an opposed Kingpin type of thing. So maybe we'll see with this Daredevil series where the Spider-Man series goes.
I mean, I don't know though, because I mean, at this point, we've now seen Kingpin as a villain in 3 different series? With the Hawkeye series, the Daredevil one, and the Echo. So I mean, it could be building up to having him
in a larger role. Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Him in a movie role, he just fucking knocks it out the park in the TV. But what everybody has been clamoring for is that Daredevil. I can't remember the actor's name. Daredevil and Spider-Man both on that screen together fighting the Kingpin. Just to see the chemistry between all 3 of those actors would be absolutely, I feel like, jaw-dropping, if I'm not mistaken.
That have to be a movie, y'all think?
Yeah.
And Charlie Cox is Daredevil in the movie.
Spider-Man by himself is making it a movie. And then you add Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio too. Them niggas gonna be happy about that payday in comparison to the TV shows.
That's what I was saying.
Shows make money. You season there.
That is true.
$1 million an episode. I mean,
I feel like what is his name? Tom Hiddleston or whatever his name is. I feel like after that first Loki season, they had to come back with a bag with him. They had to. Like, all right, bro. They was like, you know what? If we gonna pay you this much money too, you gonna be a little spider web in the universe. You're gonna be holding up some trees.
Yeah.
All right. You're not just gonna be doing 1 season for this money, okay? You might not be in a movie, but you holding up a tree.
I just wish they made that second season better. That's just me.
I thought the second. Oh, okay. This is a conversation. For
you gonna have to come back because we got a couple things we gonna have to flesh out a little bit.
Yeah. But we appreciate y'all yet again. This Squad Nero, this is episode, 59, about 60. To be 60. We appreciate, if you got anything you want to say to the people, go ahead.
Go to blurred.com. Plan to go to DreamCon this year. Plan to go to BlurryCon next year. We got to keep these spaces growing and building so we can continue to have, places to showcase Black excellence.
Yeah, you heard that, Sage. Get your ticket.
Right.
Facts. Get your ticket.
Well, he froze.
Hey, he was like perfect timing.
I guess we.
Do you want to send us out?
Yeah, I'll send us out. Everyone, thank you for coming through. Otis, thank you again for joining us, being our guest today. as you know, check out more content for Squad Nero at Squad Nero 716. Also streaming live on our YouTube channel and also Smooth Entertainment. Check out Crocko's Corner for his content. Always great content. Chef D, he will be coming with some stuff. We're working with him. Maybe a cooking video or some sort, or a video on how to get the. But we ain't gonna go down that avenue. And check out Otis. Check out Blur.com. He always has great articles in our blog section. So yeah, tap in. Thank you again. And Sage, you just ruining everything.
These dreams on the road to riches, focus on the ticket, maximize my means. It's like now I'm just trying to flow. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can cool